So, today I want to talk a little bit about dancing monkeys and short-term culture. And this doesn't have to be a long one, guys. If you want to wrap it up quick, we can. It
Yeah,
sounds
let's
like
try.
yeah, right. I mean,
When does that happen?
Nick and I have stuff to do, but it sounds like Steve, you're bored. So
No, I'm willing to wrap it up early, but when the three of us get talking, damn, it just stretches out.
yeah. So this concept of dancing monkeys, I it's something that I think we've raged about or talked about a lot in just like, why do these people keep saying, oh, just do this and you'll get what you want. Just it's everyone just says, just do this. And
Money, muscle, status, game. You talking about that? I might jump up. I'm jumping the shark. Not the shark. I'm just jumping ahead.
Jumping
Wrong
ahead,
phrase.
because we keep now the kind of the most obvious dancing monkey is the media monkey, the fame and status monkey, right? Just
Okay.
that's kind of the one that everyone thinks of. Do whatever it takes to get the attention of your audience and get them to give you whatever it is you're looking for.
Sounds like you're whoring yourself out.
Well, yeah.
There's a certain 2-word phrase, or we're not 8 minutes in, but yeah, somebody making all this money off of showing their bodies and other acts.
Well, actually, that's a. I mean, if you want to talk, I mean, we're 8 minutes in. Okay, well, guys, we got to come up with another 5 minutes of ways to not say "of," right?
Oh, there you go.
But I mean, isn't that exactly what they're doing? They are dancing monkeys for. In this case, they're dancing monkeys for men and men's money. But isn't one of the things that even brought up this topic was the Sophie Rain has been making these rounds on Twitter, and yes, because she's saying, oh, I'm a virgin and I'm a Christian.
Yeah, hasn't she made a lot of money?
$43 million in 1 year.
Wow.
Man, that's being very productive.
Well, I mean, men, $43 million to a woman to jiggle her booty on the internet. Seriously? So, we can go ahead.
That's a sign of the death of society right there.
Well, she does it because it works. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, and people pay for that. And you make all that money by doing that crap today. Man, society's in bad shape.
And this is one where I kind of have to look at the guys and I have to go, seriously? This is we'll get into the guys later, but seriously?
Just do what the audience wants. Well, that's kind of what politicians do. They have the group that they try to tie into that can get them the most votes.
Oh yeah, politicians. It's a great dance example of dancing monkeys.
What do you think Trump did? And I'm not saying, like, I'm not disparaging his character. He's shown an exemplary character in some instances, and some instances not so much. But
right,
he's a populist.
Right, yeah, exactly. He got his new position and old position by appealing to more voters than the other guy did. And how did he do that? Well, he came up with
He figured out what gave them what they wanted.
Well, promised that. Well, but see, this is an interesting. This is an interesting thing because he hasn't actually done much yet. I mean, and he's not even president yet. Now some
Right.
things have changed simply because he is coming, and he will be, and people know that, and they're getting ready for it. But he and we have said on this show before, it was during our gaps episode, that there's a lot of things that he's promised that he's not actually going to be able to do.
Wait. He's not going to take away women's rights?
No.
Oh, I'm so disappointed now.
In fact, he's the guy who is famous for saying during COVID, we need to get these lockdowns over so that women can get back to work.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That whole, he's going to take away my rights. Man, how naive are you?
Well, how programmed are you? I mean, the guy is actually very pro-woman. So, like, don't, if you think he's going to take away your rights, well, that says way more about you than it does him, and how much you don't know about him.
Even if he wanted to, he couldn't do it. The president does not have that much power. He's not a dictator. It has to get passed through Congress. And even then, you got all the regulators, you got the whole inertia of the system. You can't just snap your fingers and change anything.
Well, and the other thing to consider is despite his pretty epic popular vote win, somehow he managed to get fewer House seats than last session. I think the final seat in California was called for a Democrat, so I think we're actually fully set now. If I read it right, and he's got like 2 votes where it used to be 3 or 4, depending on. He's not gonna 2 defectors in the House. He ain't gonna get most of his agenda through. Let's just be honest. But he danced better than Kamala. Not that was particularly hard. I mean, he was even famous for doing his YMCA shuffle dance, right? So, but he danced better than Kamala did. Okay, well, there you go. So
that I still believe that the powers that be, the elite, whoever, the moneyed interests, looked at the playing field, Kamala or Trump, and decided, nah, she's not going to do it. And they put their influence behind Trump and supported him and spent some money to get his, sway his beliefs, and basically tried to bribe him. We'll see if they did. But they have a lot of influence. They don't put all their cards, they don't bet on one candidate.
no,
And,
Put all their eggs in one bucket.
We're screwed now. No. They hedge their bets.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably betting on both sides evenly.
Yeah, there was somebody who was looking at campaign finance donations, and you could look at it and go, you just compare them to the last one. It's like Kamala was not getting the donations that Biden got. So yeah, the money and interests, and you could even see it on Twitter. There was an actual fight amongst the billionaires class. You had some billionaires going one way, or very multi, like three digit millionaires, like Mark Anderson and stuff like that. And there's some real money behind Trump this time, and that really wasn't there in 2020. It's like, okay, whatever. We're not going to relitigate that. Yeah, Tacticus, exactly. They find both sides to optimize their interest, and yeah, you're right. You can't really fault them for doing that. They have enough money to do it. It is in their interest to do it. Okay. It is what it is. So, but but the politicians are the dancing monkeys in
Okay.
in this scenario. And that's I've got three kind of general categories: fame or status. So you've got the Sophie Rain fame, you've got the politicians. They're not so much famous, but they have a lot of status, and they certainly have a lot of, well, I don't know if politicians themselves have a lot of power, but we certainly treat them like they do. So,
Oh, yeah, clout chasers too.
oh well, yeah. Clout chasers. Well, because clout chasing is probably the most base and banal of the dancing monkeys. Because in that case, you're saying, oh, well, I see what this person's doing and it's working, so I should just do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The thing is, I can't even fault them for it because it does work. But it only works in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mentioned, this is dancing monkeys and short-term culture. Well, when you're a dancing monkey, be it a politician where you're concerned about the next 2, 4, maybe 6 years if you're a senator, and in Trump's case, he can't even be reelected again. He'll have done his 2. So he only has to care about the next 4 years. If you're a clout chaser, you only have to care that this particular form of clout grifting works for as long as it works. And then because of your strategy, you're just going to move on to the next one. And with figures like Sophie Rain, okay, she's popular now. And we in the Red Pill, we talk about this all the time. She's popular now. Next year it'll be somebody else.
Well, it's kind of like the red pill queen, right?
Yeah. We've talked
We
about the
talked
Red Pill
about that
Queen.
on. No, there's always going to be one. They all want to be the queen of the manosphere or whatever, and then they get it there, and then they fade away, and then there's another one.
Yeah. Now, I find it interesting that even in this space, men and women follow their roles, if you will, their natural order. Women tend to be more of the the attention comes to be where men, they're politicians and they have to go out and seek it and build it up, right? I can't just become the president of the United States. Nobody knows me, right? I can't just say I'm going to be the president and here's what I'm going to do. Nobody cares. Where women can just go on OF and get attention for nothing, but they get dropped, they get replaced. So men are constantly fighting to replace, to supersede and replace other men, where women are just kind of like, yeah, you're not it right now.
Well, here's the other. Got to move my mic there. Women do things to seek attention and notoriety of men.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the women follow. But unless you get the attention of the men, not much happens. Getting attention and drawing in a lot of women to behind your cause doesn't really work. You're going to get a certain faction, but you're not going to get a broad following of women. Correct me.
Yeah.
Push back if you think I'm wrong.
Well,
I'm throwing it out there to see if it makes sense.
Well, I'm thinking back to the gaps episode where we did all that data, and one of the things that changed for Trump this year was he got a lot more female vote, a lot more. just by percentage than he did in 2020 and even 2016. He did way better with the women this time.
Well, let me say it the other way. Kamala didn't seem to get a broad following of women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certainly there's some. The liberal women were absolutely behind her, but the more conservative type women, no, not really.
Right. Well, I think she thought that the women would just because she was. It's Team Woman.
Hmm.
You know, Kamala is a woman, so therefore I will get the woman vote. She just kind of treated it as fait accompli, and it wasn't. I
And
had
that was a big push too.
Tacticus. I hadn't even thought of this, but you are right. And I saw this stuff growing up because MLM was popular in the 90s. But you're right. All the successful MLMs run on females.